Hey there everybody, Mr. Dickin here, and in this video we are going to begin learning one of the key components of all of calculus, and that is derivatives. Now, as we do derivatives, we are going to be evaluating things, quote unquote, the long way. But first we're going to define what a derivative is, how to find it, and we're going to be using something called the difference quotient to do so. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and discuss this concept, which is one of the key components, one of the backbones of all of calculus. So first, let's just remind ourselves about tangent versus secant lines. A tangent line is any line that touches a curve at one point and one point only. So here I've got looks like a cubic function. A tangent line would be any line that hits a point once and exactly once. So right there, that red line would be a tangent line. If you had a line that intersects multiple times, say if I connected these two, oops, totally missed, that would be a secant line. So tangent lines are really what we're going to be focusing on, where it hits the curve one time and one time only. Now, when we are dealing with tangent lines and secant lines, we can figure out the slope. Our slope formula, which we've known and loved since 8th grade or earlier, is the change in y over change in x. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We use change in y over change in x with these little triangle symbols. Those are deltas. So dy over dx tells us the slope. If you have a secant line, it's pretty easy to establish 2 points, as this first one being x1, y1, this second point down here being x2, y2. Then you can just plug in your values to that slope formula. You can figure out the slope of that red line. A tangent line is a little bit harder because you have an x1, y1, but there's really no second point, right? You have that one single point, and since it's a tangent line, by definition of tangent, it only intersects the graph at that one moment. So how do we calculate slope if there's only one point, not two? Well, that's where calculus comes into play. What we are going to do is discuss something called a difference quotient. And what this difference quotient means, and I'll zoom back out so you can see this in a second, is if we had some graph and we wanted to figure out the slope of a tangent line. Say I wanted the tangent line slope exactly right there. What I could do is imagine that there was a second point somewhere arbitrarily off in the distance. So it's no longer an x value, it is now an x plus some h value. So I have the second point that has a new x value that's just a little bit further away. The y value associated with that would be f of whatever this value is, so f of x plus h. To find the slope, then, what we're going to do is the same old slope formula where we have this point's y value, so f of x plus h, minus this point's y value, divided by this point's x value minus this point's x value. Now, the issue that we run into, though, is, this kind of changes things depending on where this arbitrarily chosen point is on the line. But as we get closer and closer and closer, this arbitrarily chosen point, the closer we get to our original point, well, the more and more perfectly approximating a tangent line we're going to have. So what we're going to do is take this distance that we went out, this h units, that was the number of steps we took forward along the x-axis to get to that arbitrary second point. We're going to say, let's shrink this h value down impossibly small. So we want that h value to get smaller and smaller and smaller, aka the limit as h goes to 0. So this is the difference quotient. This is what years and years and years of mathematical study hundreds of years ago led to. To calculate the slope of any tangent line, the change in y over the change in x, you can do a difference quotient, which is f of x plus h, which represents a second y value, minus the original y value. So I'm essentially, if I look at that graph to the right, this is my x2, y2 value. And then I could divide out x2 minus x1. Well, if x2 was x plus h and x1 was x, if I had x plus h minus x, I'm just left with, you guessed it, h. So this difference quotient is nothing more than just slope formula with this arbitrarily x and x plus h, arbitrarily chosen points in there. We're doing this as h goes to 0, so as this point gets infinitely close to that anchor point at x f of x. The notation for this function that we're going to be using, since we're calculating slope, but that slope will change depending on where our point is on the function, we're still going to have f of x notation, but we use a little prime symbol to indicate the derivative. So the derivative is defined as the slope of a function at any given point. A lot of times a derivative function will have an x, so you're going to have to plug x into it. So depending on the x value, will determine the slope. We can kind of see that with this graph. If I had an x value over here, the slope won't be as steep as the slope is right here. All right, so now let's put this into work. Before we do that, we need to remind ourselves how function notation works. Whatever you have in the parentheses for that function notation gets plugged in for x. So f of 5 is going to be 3 times 5 squared plus 5. F of negative 2 would be 3 times negative 2 squared plus 5. If I scrolled all the way down to x plus h, this would be 3 times x plus h squared plus 5. And the reason why we're talking about this is we will see points where we have to evaluate a difference quotient where we are squaring that whole x plus h. All right, here we go. We want the derivative function. We want to find f prime. So we want to find the derivative and then evaluate it at 3 different points. So let's find the derivative of this function, 3x squared plus 5. So I'm going to have the limit, zoom in a bit, the limit as h goes to 0 of 3 times, I already screwed up, 3 times x plus h squared plus 5 minus 3x squared plus 5. So we have f of x plus h minus f of x. So that's just this numerator right here, f of x plus h, f of x, all over h. Now I couldn't just plug in 0 for h to evaluate this limit because I'd have a 0 at the bottom. I don't know if that 0 will cancel, simplify out, but as it stands right now, I can't just plug it in. So what I need to do is simplify this and make it look nicer. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to switch up to red. Limit as h goes to 0. If I were to distribute that out, x plus h squared would be x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. There was a 3 in front of it, so that's going to be 3x squared plus 6xh plus 3h squared plus 5. So that was the f of x plus h term. Then we have minus this 3x squared plus 5. All of that over h. At this point, we should see things that start to cancel. One thing that I'm noticing is this minus sign is going to affect everything that comes after it. So if I wanted to strip away those grouping symbols, this would be a minus 3x, and then this would be a minus 5. These grouping symbols on the first function aren't really doing anything anymore, so I can get rid of those. All right, let's see what cancels out. 3x squared's goodbye. 5's adios. So now I'm left with limit as h goes to 0 of 6xh plus 3h squared all over h. Well, hey, there's a GCF up top. There's a GCF of h. So I've got limit as h goes to 0 of h times the quantity 6x plus 3h all over h. Well, now these h's can cancel. So I've got the limit as h goes to 0 of 6x plus 3h. At this point, I can plug 0 in for h. When I do that, this term cancels out and becomes a 0. And I'm left with f prime of x equals 6x. That is my derivative function. The derivative of 3x squared plus 5 is just 6x. So now if I want to evaluate this when x is -2 or 0 or 1, all I have to do, now that I have my derivative function, is plug in -2, 0, and 1 into my derivative. So let's do that. 6 times -2 would be -12. 0 times 6 is 0. 6 times 1 is 6. And we are done. So there is a derivative function found by using the difference quotient. All right. Let's do one more, and then we will switch gears and talk about normal lines, and we'll wrap it up there. Okay. Find the derivative function, and then write the equation of the tangent line at x equals -2. So let's start off using the difference quotient here. Yay, difference quotient for this function. So I want to find f prime, and that is going to be the limit as h goes to 0 of f of x plus h. So x plus h squared minus 4 times x plus h minus the original f of x function, x squared minus 4x, all over, ooh, I got all wonky with that line, all over h. Time to clean it up. At this point, I cannot directly evaluate that limit because I can't plug in 0. So let's expand things out. We've got the limit as h goes to 0. Distribute this out as x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. Then if I distribute this -4 in there, I get -4x minus 4h. H, not x. Come on now. This negative sign will affect everything that comes after it, so minus x squared plus 4x all over h. At this point, things should start to naturally knock themselves out. X squared, sayonara. 4x, been nice knowing you. So we're left with limit as h goes to 0 of 2xh plus h squared minus 4h all over h. Holy cow, everything here has an h, which means we've got a GCF. So we've got a GCF. Once we take that GCF out, some of you will be able to do this kind of mentally without rewriting another step, and that's great for you if you can do that. We're going to have the limit as h goes to 0 of the quantity h times 2x plus h minus 4, so taking out a GCF, all over h. So these h's cancel. And now I can evaluate the limit as h goes to 0 of 2x plus h minus 4. If h is going to 0, that term gets canceled away, negligible. Our derivative function, f prime of x, is 2x minus 4. All that work, we got the derivative function. Yay. All right, so now let's get the equation for the tangent line at x equals -2. So to get the tangent line, I'm going to use point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. I know that x1 is going to be -2. But I need to know two things. I need to know what is the function value of -2, because that's going to be my y1. And then I need to know what is the derivative value of -2, because that's going to be the m. So our function value, let's see, our original function, what was it? X squared minus 4x. If I plugged in -2 to x squared minus 4x, let's see, that would be 4 plus 8, 12. If I plugged in -2 to my derivative function, which was 2x minus 4, this would be -4 minus 4, which is -8. I would have the following function. Y minus 12 equals -8 times x minus -2. There we have it. There's the equation of a tangent line of that parabola at that point. All right, now for our brief conversation into normal lines. We'll probably talk maybe about one of these, but we'll spend more time on it in class. A normal line is perpendicular to a tangent line, and the slopes are opposite reciprocals. So opposite reciprocals. Actually, you know what? We'll just do this one example. We'll skip those other four. So here we have a situation where we have a graph. We know the point. We know the slope. So we're going to write the equation of a tangent line. So if I did that, it would be y minus y1, so y minus 2, equals my slope, 3/2 times x minus 1. If you know the point, you know the slope, that's all you need. But if you have the tangent slope, you also have the normal line slope. This equation will look the same. The only difference is the slope is going to be the opposite reciprocal. So opposite reciprocal slope. That is the only difference. So now that we have that, these problems, it's all going to be the exact same thing. You know the point, you know the slope, but those will be ones that we discuss in class. All right, that's all for this one. You know the drill. If you have any questions, let me know. And as always, folks, good luck, have fun, be safe, roll tide.